are entering E&C's Pod of Awesomeness.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Adam Edge Copeland.
And I am Jay Christian Riso. Here we are. The wait is over.
This is it. The
We've
initial
arrived.
episode, the debut episode, straight out of the gate. The starter's gun has fired. This is it. We're spitting it all over your face. The debut episode of the Pod of Awesomeness.
The debut episode, and we have Bill Goldberg. It doesn't get any bigger than that, does it?
No, I really
Not at
don't,
the moment.
especially right now.
Right.
I mean, the man is about to main event WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar in Orlando for the Universal Championship, WWE Universal Championship. I really, in terms of wrestling at this juncture, at this point in time, doesn't get any bigger.
Not a bigger star, not a hotter star. So it's cool that he came on and he chatted with us for a little bit. So we'll get to that in a while. But
We will, and that's not just hyperbole.
No.
I really just wanted to get that word in.
I could tell that's what you wanted to do.
I forced it. It was like I had to ram that home.
Yeah, you did ram it.
It could be taken a lot of ways.
You
but
rammed it right in there. But let's kind of touch on something here. This is.
Okay.
You remember sitting in my parents' backyard back in 1988? What I told you? Do you remember?
that you hated your acne? I don't know. What?
Other than that, remember I said back in 1988, I told you that we were gonna, we'd break into the wrestling business together. We'd get to the WWE. We'd become 7-time tag team champions. We'd be multi-time world champions. We'd retire roughly around the same time. You'd do a TV series, and I'd probably come on and join you for about 6 episodes. We'd write, produce, star in the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness on WWE streaming network, the WWE network. Then we'd do a podcast.
You told me all of that.
In 1988.
But before half of those things were even, there was no such thing as a streaming device.
I have.
There was no internet.
I have.
There was barely a wrestling industry at that point.
I guess you could say I have GSP.
Yeah. Well, probably multiple concussions too, because you just said GSP. So.
Maybe.
There's that.
Maybe I have George St. Pierre on the mind.
I don't even want to find out what that's all about.
You don't.
Let me guess. You knew he was going to be welterweight champion, retire, and come back to the UFC to fight Michael Bisping 5 years after the fact.
I don't want to brag, but I did know that.
You knew all of that.
I did.
Okay. You are the Marty McFly of professional wrestling.
I'm not into spoiler alerts. That's why I kept it to myself.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're obviously off to a roaring start here.
I would say
now,
we are. Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Right.
But one thing that we wanted to do on this show is we wanted to make it fan interactive. We wanted to have you, the listener, involved. And so we opened up the floodgates, if you will.
If you will.
How was that, Dusty? That wasn't, if you will.
It wasn't bad. It was kind of like a Dusty in passing. It wasn't like a full-on Dusty. It was just like...
I didn't fully commit to it.
You didn't commit to it. And that's the problem. If you want to get a character over, especially on this show, you got to commit to it.
I didn't get like fully dirty. I didn't get down in the gutters with the common man. I didn't get down and wine and dine and in the gutters and the back alleys with plumbers, or what was it he said? There was a really good line and I'm butchering it.
Let's let Dusty cut the Dusty promos.
That might be a point to put that in there in case you're wondering. Our mega producer, Mega Matt, that's your time to plug that in.
I have wined and dined with kings and queens, and I've slept in alleys and dined on pork and beans.
Yeah, obviously we are. Speaking of Dusty Rhodes and the wrestling business, we will obviously touch on that.
We will
throughout our journeys.
We'll probably
on the E&C Pod.
Talk about a lot of our interests, because we have multiple interests. Believe it or not, we are some might say Renaissance men. Mm-hmm. It might be overstating the case a little bit, but
you know what I prefer?
Yeah,
I would just prefer that we just put me over for like 45 minutes to an hour every week.
I'm pretty sure you're going to do that anyway. That seems to be your natural tendency. So I will leave that to you, because I think you'll probably do a pretty good job at it.
Thanks.
I will try and put our guests over. That will be the dynamic of our interview style.
So I'll be like, that's a great story about you, but what do you think about me?
Yeah, enough about me. What do you think about me?
Right. Seems like a good avenue to travel down.
Good way to go. Yeah. Well, I've heard some podcasts that are like that, so
yeah.
But yeah, so back to the point. Before I got off of my dusty kick, my dusty tangent, my dusty diatribe, we wanted to have it fan interactive. So we got a voicemail.
We do.
And we put the number out on the Twitter.
The Twitter machine.
On the Twitter machine that I'm sure you also somehow guessed would be around back in 1988, back in your parents' side yard.
I have shares.
And we opened it up because we wanted to hear what you guys said. And we thought we'd play some of those messages on the air. Roll it, Matt.
I hope your podcast is a whole lot better than your stupid show on the network. Good luck. Look forward to trying it out.
Well, I think we could respond to that, retort to that.
I'm going to say I hope that it is too.
Yeah, we didn't exactly knock it out of the park there on some of those episodes. Although, in listening to our friend there, I'm not sure whether I'm going to take his television critique that far.
Right.
I got nothing against Southern accents. I live in the hills of North Carolina. But, oh, man, that was deep there.
What else we got?
That was a deep accent.
Hi there. I just wanted to sing my rendition of Christian's theme. So here it goes. If you open up your ass, gaping hole revealed, put a plug inside Alberto Del Rio. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
I always wondered what the lyrics were. I always wondered.
Now we know.
Now we know.
And we played that Chum Stain Challenge, and I didn't know the lyrics to your song. Now I know.
Yeah. My God.
Butt plugs and gaping holes and Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, it's man. I had no idea. I always was trying to I could never get my hands on I couldn't get
get your hands on
the actual lyrics of the song. But yeah, now it makes sense now.
Well, there's our winner so far. Okay. What else do we got?
How big is Batista's dick?
Interesting quandary. Let's see. I personally don't know. Do you know, Jay? Is that like a burning question on the minds of wrestling fans?
I'm starting to think maybe this is a bad idea.
I kind of don't.
Nah, fuck it. We're too far in now. Play the next one.
This is a train wreck. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, E&C? Ryan here from Oregon. First time, long time. With WrestleMania coming up, me and my friends are all going to be watching. I'm wondering, in your opinion, what is the all-time best pay-per-view party snack? Thanks.
Man, that's a stumper right there.
What if you got a bowl of queso, but you built a wrestling ring out of tortilla chips and put chili peppers for the turnbuckles and pretzels for the ring posts and cooked spaghetti noodles for the ropes. And that's just off the top of my head.
It's a pretty good one. I'm going to say nachos and cheese.
Fucker. Totally took the easy way out. I was trying to be creative.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give the guy a good answer so that maybe he can, come up with some kind of Rembrandt of snack foods, and you just say nachos and chips.
Well, you didn't let me finish. The Nacho Libre, I'm saying you could get a guy, maybe a heavier set guy, and put him in a Nacho Libre outfit and put the dip in his navel.
I thought you were going to say in his gaping ass because I said earlier.
You're still thinking about my theme song.
I thought for sure you were going there. Okay, roll it.
Yo, Azure Christian, what up? It's your boy Skinny Penis here. And I just want to say you are fucking shit at wrestling. Love you to death, though. Hilarious guys, but you're fucking shit at wrestling. And I think you're a little too young to retire, so get your shit together.
Did he say I'm still stuck on Skinny Penis.
Yeah, no, it's a hell of a handle. But I like
obviously
the fact,
not. Obviously, it's not a hell of a handle if it's a skinny penis. But whatever.
I'll take that one because he said, we suck at wrestling. We're funny, which is cool, but that we shouldn't have retired so young. So we suck at wrestling, but he didn't want us to retire, but he just wanted to keep watching shitty wrestling, or what?
Or he's just fucking contradicting himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking get your head screwed on straight, skinny penis.
Skinny penis.
Call us back.
Tomorrow. All right, roll it.
Hey guys, I was mourning the loss of Jay and Dan in America, and to know that I got another Canadian podcast duo coming my way, I'm happy. So thank you. Just, I have one favor to ask. Should be good.
Whoa. He sounded happy.
He sounded
thrilled.
Extremely happy.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Very happy.
That was like the Lance Storm of callers there.
I'm not convinced that wasn't Lance.
You think it was?
I just don't think he would know who Jay and Dan is because he knows nothing about sports.
That's true, and he doesn't drink beer. So there's debate as to whether he's really Canadian. Jay and Dan are back in TSN, correct?
They are. That's what I hear. That's the rumor.
So it's up to us to infiltrate America and get up in America.
Penetrate them.
But we've been doing that for 20 years, and they don't seem tired of it yet.
Not
so
yet.
I guess we used enough lube. All right, roll it.
Hi, Edge. Hi, Christian. It's Alan Alda calling.
Very good.
I just wanted to congratulate you guys on finally joining the ranks of the WWE Superstars podcasts. I'm a big podcast fan, and little known fact, I'm actually a very ardent wrestling fan. And I was thrilled when I saw on Twitter yesterday that you guys would be getting your own podcast. So I just wanted to stop in and say welcome, and I wish you all the best. And funny story, I actually did I got into wrestling in the 70s. I did a film. Really, it was an unreleased film.
Just stop it for a second, Matt.
It was called Sexual.
Stop. Is this his podcast, or are we listening to his podcast? I'm a little confused. Okay, keep playing.
Texas. It was completely above board. It was not. It was just a funny gag film with Andre the Giant, and I became good friends with Andre through the process of making the film. Now, the film didn't see the light of day. Unfortunately, it was it was bad. Frankly, it didn't really work. It was funny, but more in the inside joke kind of way, I guess. The studio canned it immediately, and it never played. But Andre and I became good friends, and
okay,
I actually had
stop.
him.
This is driving nails into my frontal lobe. Okay. I'll give the guy 10 seconds. We just gave him 2 minutes.
Oh, my God.
He had a pretty good Alan Alda,
Yeah.
which is a fucking dated reference.
Yeah.
My God, like MASH? I love me some MASH.
Yeah.
But although I gotta hand it to him, he did get in Andre the Giant references
Right.
with an Alan Alda impersonation.
But, Edge,
I mean,
you can learn
how many people are going to attempt that?
You can learn something from this guy. Because you could tell he was all in on Alan Alda, whereas you half-assed the American Dream. If you commit, if you become the American Dream, like he became Alan Alda, you might get over on this podcast.
I wined and dined with king and queens, and I hung out in gutters eating pork and beans. That was still off. I still didn't.
Getting better.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Alan Alda, because you just at least gave me a little bit more of an inspired performance. All right, Mega Matt.
Edge, Christian, this is Howard Finkel. You forgot to book my travel. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I would have been your first guest on your first podcast, or whichever podcast this voicemail ends up being on. I did enjoy announcing you two as a tag team. Edge and Christian! See, I can still do it. Invite me on your podcast, and maybe we can talk about it. Thank you very much, and watch out for that choke slam! I don't know what that means. Goodbye.
Was that Tommy Dreamer? Was that Tommy?
That was a good Howard.
It was pretty good. I'm not going to say it was good. It was pretty good.
It was good. I didn't say. I said it was good.
You said it was good more on the better than
Did
average.
I say pretty good? I said good, you son of a bitch. Listen to what I said.
All right.
God,
I'm listening to you.
You're making me angry. I've already sworn 3 times. So, but here's the thing. Nice, succinct, to the point.
Mm-hmm.
He got it out. He didn't. What was Alan Alda talking about? But here's what I want. I want Alan Alda and Howard Finkel, and I want them to call in together.
Oh my God!
And I want to hear what happens there.
So if you guys are listening, which I'm pretty sure you are, see if you can coordinate that.
I'm guessing they don't got a whole else.
They'll figure it out. If they really want to be on the E&C's Pod of Awesomeness, they will figure it out.
Yeah.
Or we'll figure it out for them. We'll get in touch with them. Either way.
Yeah, well,
we'll get it done.
Either way, like I said, I'm sure they're in their basements right now listening to this.
Right. So if you want to end up on E&C's Pod of Awesomeness like these contributing members of our fan base did, just call the number.
Yeah.
What's the number, Rich?
The number, you put me on the spot, but I got it. It's 929-367-8204. I'm going to repeat that again because you were cackling like a little fucking hyena. 929-367-8204.
I was holding my breath there when you said that. I put that up. And you can also obviously follow us on Twitter at E&C Pod, or email us at ecpodofawesomeness@gmail.com. And of course, Edge's Twitter handle is at EdgeRatedR, and mine is at Christian4Peeps, the number 4. And actually, just as I was about to unfollow you here on Twitter right now, I'm looking at your Twitter handle and wondering, are you really rated R at this point? Is this kind of misleading here?
Oh, hell no. But I already muted you on Twitter, so I have no idea what you say anymore. But I just want full disclosure here. We had not heard any of those.
No.
That was legitimately the first time we heard that.
Yeah.
So
keep them coming.
I want to keep doing it that way. That was fun.
That was great.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks for doing that.
But without further ado, I think it's time
that
that we get to our debut guest, the big man.
And I just want to say this. I'm not 100% convinced that Bill Goldberg even knows who I am. So I'm sure that this was a favor to you.
I mean, again, full disclosure. Yeah.
Okay.
No offense.
Good job. Good job. Good get.
Well.
Big get.
Next one's on you.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
No problem.
And I don't want the gobbledygooker. I don't want like the goon. No offense, Wild Bill Irwin. Come on.
Let me ask you a question. Will Alan Alda work for you?
Howard Finkel might.
Okay.
All right.
I'll work on it. I'll work on a big guest.
Okay, big get for next week. In the meantime, here's our interview with Bill Goldberg.
You're listening to E&C's Pod of Awesomeness.
So here we are. We got Goldberg.
It's still
for our debut episode.
It's still blowing my mind.
What are you saying there, Jay? What do you got?
I'm too excited. I'm speaking over you. It's blowing my mind here that we got the man. We got Bill Goldberg on with us, the Universal Champion. So this is pretty exciting. Thanks for joining us, Bill. Really, really appreciate it.
It is an honor and a privilege to be your first guest, to be a guest of yours at any time on your show. But at the end of the day, guys, man, it's just good to talk to you again. It's been way too long.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out when the last time we actually all talked was. And I think you guys had decided it was in Arizona a few years ago. And Bill, I'm not sure if you or I have spoken since you gave me that hellacious spear in the middle of the ring that I'm still trying to recover from.
All I can tell you, dude, is it made both of us really famous.
Yeah, right. It's still
that thing's been viewed so many times. I think half of the views are from me. just appreciating how you lived through it,
well,
at
the
end of the day, man, people are, look at this spear, look at that spear, look at this guy do it, look at that guy do it. At the end of the day, man, all you dudes who took it for all of us are the ones who deserve all of the credit.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's the... Like, people will talk to me about the one off the ladder, and I'm like, well, talk to Jeff Hardy, because I really had nothing to do with that.
Well, it was funny in that instance because it was at a time where you were feuding with The Rock, and The Rock was kind of off doing some movies and stuff like that. So I kind of stepped in to kind of be his voice when he wasn't there for TVs, to kind of keep his presence at TV. So I was kind of going out and I was kind of his chosen. He had told me I was his favorite wrestler at the time, so I was coming out and doing some promos with you and stuff like that. And And that's kind of where that spear happened. I remember you came out to interrupt me, and I turned around and stepped into it, and I just remember the reaction live when it happened. And still people send me the video to this day asking me about that spear and if and how bad it hurt and all that stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, it was there, but it was one of those things where you stepped into it and I stepped into it, and it was like two professionals, doing what they do and making this illusion of what it's supposed to, what's supposed to happen out there, and that's what it was.
My wife and I were watching the boxing last night, and I'm a huge combat sports fan, and I'm commenting on, the fact that most of the allure has been lost from the boxing world, and it's all going over to mixed martial arts and whatever. At the end of the day, man, I truly miss the sweet science of two guys going out there and being pros and doing what they do. It's just beautiful to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same. It's the exact same thing, man. I mean, anybody can take a spear involuntarily, but to make it look as good as you did and to survive, I'm telling you, man, I'm in awe every time I see it. And it's something that I'm telling you, it'll outlive both of us.
I'm sure it will.
There's no question about it.
So now to backtrack, you're talking about boxing and talking about enjoying two guys getting in there. What's your take on this whole McGregor-Mayweather deal? Hey, more hats off to both of them. More power to them for being professionals and putting money in their pockets and feeding their family. How professionals go about, the way that they go about things and their certain path and their mode of operandi is completely different than mine. But it's like I'm an aficionado of automobiles, correct? I like 700 horsepower cars, but if you see a low rider coming down the street, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to drive it, but I can appreciate it. Okay. So, I greatly appreciate these guys' showmanship because that's what they're doing. It's 2017, man. They're trying to put a fight together that will top financially every other fight, by far. Whether it's hype, whether it's truly going to be a great competition, it doesn't matter at this point because the money's already in the bank.
But it has to happen at this point.
They've done a great job promoting it.
Mm-hmm.
But as you just said, the allure of it is going to be lost unless they get this thing done.
Right.
You can only talk about it for so long. People resent that subject if you talk about it, build it up, and then nothing happens.
Well, it was kind of like the Pacquiao-Mayweather thing from before, how when they were both in their primes that they were, they could never get it done, and they were both kind of, maybe past their prime a little bit, and, the allure of the match had kind of gone away a little bit, and then the match didn't live up to its hype, you know what I mean? So it's you have to kind of strike when the iron's hot, so to speak, on something like that.
This feels interesting, too, because it feels like there's resentment in both sports. It feels like there's resentment from the MMA community and some resentment from the boxing community, too. Because it seems like neither wants to see it happen, but the general public is what wants to see it happen. And let's face it, that's what's most important.
That's who's paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, to be good businessmen, you have to satiate the general public. It's kind of like what Scott Coker does over at Bellator. He puts fights on that people want to see. Whether it's Fedor coming back, whether it was Kimbo Slice, God rest his soul. They're attractions. It's more like professional wrestling. It's a big spectacle. This is the biggest spectacle ever. And now I believe I'm going to get blasted for this, but I believe that it'll help boxing exponentially.
It'll get eyeballs on it that haven't been on it for a while.
Exactly. So if I was the boxing community, I'd be ecstatic about it.
Right.
But they're traditionalists, and at the end of the day, the traditionalists, I get their side of it too. On the flip side, the MMA community, what could they be resentment of? Where could there be any resentment there? You got arguably the number one combat sports draw in the history of the world, coming out of retirement to take on one of your guys. I think the cross promotion there in itself is humongous.
Well, not only is he coming out of retirement for one of their guys, he's saying that it's the only guy that he'd come out of retirement for. So that says a lot about the drawing ability of a guy like McGregor.
Well, yeah, but it's money. You know that.
Yeah.
It's the money. I mean, if there was somebody else out there not named Conor McGregor, that was a viable option that could put $100 million in his pocket, he'd be doing the same thing.
Sure. Yeah, he's got to pay for those 2 private planes.
Yeah, that and all the tips he leaves everywhere.
So, talking about spectacles leads me to WrestleMania, and the biggest spectacle, the biggest thing on the wrestling calendar, on the WWE calendar, and so how about you? 12 years after last stepping in the ring, and here we are. 2017.
The three guttural laughs from all of us, understanding what not anyone understands out there. Yeah.
So, I mean, first of all, how do you feel?
Where do you want me to begin? I'm doing this interview from my gym in my massage chair. Get ready to train.
Is that what that sound was? I was like, is he working on a car?
I'm sorry, dude, but it is what it is. All my interviews are done in my massage chair now. It's the only way that I
sweat.
Use my time wisely. I mean, I am nothing but a machine now. I get up in the morning, I eat, I train, I eat. I go to the bathroom about 20 times intermittently throughout the day because I'm shoving 15 to 20,000 calories in my body, and it doesn't know what's going on at 50 years old. It has no idea. I mean, I get up in the morning and I look in the mirror and I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? But, hey, man, here's the deal. I'm going to cut right to the chase. I was given an opportunity to be a superhero to my kid again. Mm-hmm. And all the hard work that it would take to get me back into those BVDs and my boots at 50 years old, all the pain, all the resentment, all the embarrassment, dudes, it's all worth it, man. I took the belt, pardon me, I took the title, the Universal title.
Wow, company guy now.
Yeah, I forgot a lot of things in 13 years, man. There's a list of words, man. I didn't,
That's right.
So I took the title to my son's class, and this will encapsulate my entire experience. Okay, I'm standing in front of the class, and I look at my son, and my son thinks I'm a dick. Let's be perfectly honest. I'm like a drill sergeant, with a heart. But I mean, my job is not to be his buddy. My job is to be a very responsible parent, breeding and raising an extremely responsible member of society.
Right.
And the love and the admiration and the joy that I saw in my son's eyes as I stood in front of his class with that Universal title, man. I mean, it was like time had stopped, and it was the coolest thing ever. So it's the toughest thing I've ever embarked upon, guys. I mean, 13 years removed from the business. I mean, I do Muay Thai all the time. I was down to like 235.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
and
man.
I mean, you say down to 235. For the average human, that's a massive individual. But for you, that is definitely light.
Let me put that in perspective. I've never been 215, so I'm just throwing that out there.
Let's really put it in perspective. I was 237 when I graduated high school.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but I'd become a completely different person. Obviously, I trained Muay Thai, and I do cardio. I found this thing called cardio, and
that's overrated.
And I know exactly. And my calorie intake was like nothing comparatively, and there's no reason for me to be benching 500 pounds all the time.
Yeah.
So I became a completely different person.
Well, that's how I felt about benching 500 pounds. I was like, there's no reason for it. I'm just not going to do it.
That's why you didn't do it. Yeah.
You're classic. But so, it's at my accelerated age, the body doesn't respond the way it used to. And let's be perfectly honest. I retired from the NFL from an injury. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, I got more excuses than Carter's got pills. I had 2 knees. I hit my left knee with a chainsaw and got it operated on in July of last year. And then in August, I blew my meniscus out because I compensated so much for my left knee. I blew my meniscus out in my right. And so I got it operated on. And then 6 weeks later, I get a phone call. So
wow.
I went into a drastic time warp of a change in that, it's back 20 years ago when I was doing stuff like this. I'd get up at 6:30 in the morning, drink a half a pot of coffee, and I'd lift for 2 hours. I'd eat, I'd lift for 2 hours, I'd eat, I'd take a nap, I'd lift, I'd eat, I was a machine. But now with all these compounding injuries throughout the years and trying to attain the weight and the look of Goldberg back in the day for the diehard fans that saw me then and for the new fans who've never seen me, boy, what a first impression that's going to be when Goldberg comes back and, he's a big fat ass, so it's just, as much as we say that we are not vain, man, we care what we look like out there and we have an image and we work very hard on it for a long period of time. And I can't name a power wrestler who's retired and come back 13 frickin' years afterwards and been within 20 pounds of what he was, back then. But
well, and that's just it. You're I know you're self-deprecating and everything, but dude, you look like an animal.
Yeah.
So the hard work is paid off because I don't know 50-year-olds that look the way you do. So. And let's face it.
I appreciate it, but I appreciate it very much. But I look like I look horrible.
You may feel it, but you don't look it.
Here's the thing, too.
I really appreciate it, and it's not. I ain't looking for freaking compliments, dude. But it's just tough. It's tough. It's really tough. And to be able to go out and people are expecting me to be able to do exactly what I did back then. Well, let's be honest, man. I forgot how to go through my pyro. I forgot what I swear to God, I actively, when I came back to the WWE, each and every time I went through Gorilla, I would remember another thing that I had forgotten in my preparation. You perfect it after a number of years, right? Exactly what you eat that morning.
It's routine.
You've got a routine.
It's muscle memory.
The pyro, it's everything because I'm such a stress mongrel that I put so much pressure on myself. I concentrate on one thing and then I forget another. It's like I said, man, my punches and kicks and stuff going through pyro. I haven't done my original one yet. Every time I go through, it's different now because I'm thinking about it. I'm just thinking it's like I'm a kid and I just don't know anything. So I'm just trying to take it all in.
Well, and what's interesting about it too, because having been removed from the wrestling industry and for as long as you were, and I can speak from experience, like anytime I come back, I'm not getting back into wrestle, but just from doing my entrance, and I still hit the gym, I still, make sure that I stay in shape, but from my entrance, I'll slide in the ring and go, oh man, that hurt just hitting my pyro, and there's no way it should. Like all I do is throw up the rock sign. That's it. But for whatever reason, I can feel a little spasm in my back. So,
here's a great one for you. And I haven't divulged this, but when I get done with this run, man, I'm writing another book, dude. There's so many things that have happened in this last 6 months that people would absolutely flip out about, right? So I'm going through my pyro, one of the first times back, right? And I don't remember my sequence, and so I do whatever I do, and I throw a push kick. And I remember years ago when I was, a different kind of Goldberg, and we were doing the longest yard, and Austin was running through we were doing football practice, and Austin was running through the bags, and he pulls his hamstring, just doing bag drills, and I'm laughing to myself going, man, what's up, dude? This dude just pulled his hamstring going through the bag drills. Okay, well, fast forward to me going through my pyro. I throw my punches. I throw my kick. I pull my hamstring.
Yeah.
Throwing a kick. It's just ridiculous. But I didn't remember to stretch before I do even just going out doing a monologue, doing a promo. But man, you guys know me, dude. I go from 0 to 100. How about when I knock myself out on the door? You hear that one?
No.
You didn't hear that one? I did that, I don't know, a month ago.
But we all have our different ways of getting ready.
Well, yeah, my way of getting ready was you know me, man. They knock on my door. I pour a bottle of water on my head so I don't catch on fire in the sparks, and I headbutt the door. It's just, I'm a Neanderthal. That's what I do, right? So fast forward to, now I'm a little bit seasoned, and things are not the same, but I'm trying to remember my sequence. So I headbutt the door, and all of a sudden, I pull that door open, man, and I'm like I don't know what's going on. I was a little dizzy.
Seeing stars.
You said something a little bit earlier.
And I'm walking to the ring, and I go through Gorilla, and then I get in the ring, man, and I literally forgot every single thing that I was supposed to say. And the cameraman throws me a towel, and I'm like, what is this towel for? I mean, I know I sweat a lot, and I got blood dripping down my forehead.
From the door.
From the door, and I had no idea, man. I don't do this stuff to be, written about. I do it because I got to do certain things to be me. And
there's a process.
There is a process, man, and I told Mr. McMahon afterwards. I said, fault me for trying too hard, not for not trying hard enough.
You said, Bill, you said something a little bit earlier that I thought was interesting when you said that we all have a little bit of vanity in us when it comes to what we do and going out there, because you're out there by yourself, right? You're under the spotlight. It's you that's walking through the curtain. It's up to you, how bad or good you do when you go through that curtain. But speaking of that, you've been away for so long. Like, how thrilling was it and as performers, we all have those kind of doubts, right? When you get to the curtain, like, man, are they going to remember me? It's been a while. How are they going to react? Are they going to react? Because nothing's worse than going out there and there's no reaction whatsoever. But, before you even came out, there was already the groundswell that you started to hear the Goldberg chants like they were like back in the day. And like you said, a lot of these new fans hadn't even seen you before. They're just going off of what they've seen on the network or from past DVDs or what their parents had told them, stuff like that. Like, how thrilling was it and how validating was it when you walked out there and you received the reaction you did on your first night back?
To have my family there, dude, I kind of broke down in the ring a little bit, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But to have
nothing wrong with that,
there,
man.
Yeah, to have them there and to get the opportunity and, the biggest issue that I had, one of the huge issues, obviously, is acceptance. You don't want to taint your legacy.
Yep.
I don't want to say legacy because I'm nobody different than anybody else. I'm a professional wrestler, and I hopefully entertain a couple people, and I guess everyone has a legacy. But
a body of work.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to say legacy because I don't think that I'm any better than anybody else. But, so you there are certain things, man, that just are tough. And, man, it's just, to be able to get that reaction, I'm just absolutely speechless. I was speechless that night. It was, I don't want to say validate. It was just cool, man. I'm really lucky. I must have done something. I must have done something right. That's all I can say. And another thing, man, that first night was unbelievable. But you guys know, each and every night is a new night. It's a different town. It's a different crowd, whether it's Minnesota, who, wouldn't chant my name for nothing because, Brock's from there, or whether it's Chicago with the CM Punk chants. Every place is different, and each and every time I worry about it. And I like to think that it gets me at the top of my game.
Right, because you're a perfectionist, and the worst feeling in the world, or the worst experience, and the thing that motivates guys that perform, I think, at the highest level, the biggest fear is failing. And when there's always that fear, when it's always right there, it makes guys work better under pressure, guys and gals, I think.
Yes, no question. And I like to think that the cream rises to the top when you're under pressure, man. And that's the situation I like to be in. And, people have asked me, "Hey, man, have you had fun on this run?" Man, I'll be honest with you. No, I'm miserable. I am absolutely miserable. But I, my family's having fun, man. And so every single thing, every training session, every ART massage that makes me cry, every Muay Thai session, it's all worth it, man. It's just worth it. And hey, at the end of the day, if I want to smile, I'll buy a car. That's how
there you go.
That's how I'm happy.
Get one of those 700 horsepowers.
I did. I bought one on the way back from Toronto. Because I worked my ass off, dude. You guys know that. I mean, I worked so hard, my body completely shut down on me. When I went in there with Rusev and I stumbled, my legs. I had done legs like 3 days before. I had trained like so hard for 6 weeks, man. My body just shut down on me.
Well, and it's a different kind of. As much as you can train for things, that's a very difficult industry to train for, and because there's nothing I've found that you can do that fully mimics it.
I remember when I was in the power plant, and Nash and Hall came down, and they were older, and they were positioned, and they were coming back for a match or something, and they were going through it, and they looked at everybody and went, "Take a bump? Hell, I ain't taking no damn bump." And I'll always remember that, And then they sent a ring out here, for me to prepare. And Hennig's kid came out, and I did some stuff. But the reality is, man, I didn't ever take a lot of bumps, and a bump is just a bump. So if I'm going to take a bump, I'm going to take it in real time. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to break anything. I'm not brittle. I fight 18-year-old dudes 2-3 days a week, man, that want to kill me. So true, I'm going up against Brock, but I mean, this ain't nothing that we haven't done before. And hey, man, it's going to hurt like hell. It always does. But like I say, it's worth it, man. It's all good. It's worth it.
I've always found, too, the thing that gets you through the most is also the thing that can be the first shock to the system, is that reaction from the crowd. So you come through that curtain, and there's nothing that can mimic 80,000 people reacting to theme music that is yours and directing all of their emotion, whether it's good or it's bad, at you. Try and suck all of that in, and man, that will blow you up.
Oof.
But it's also the stuff that gets you through a bad bump. It's also the stuff that gets you through, like, oh man, I'm kind of tired here, but man, listen to that crowd. It's very, very, man, there's no other business like it. There really isn't.
Well, it's because you get that instant feedback, that instant, gratification, whatever it is. You don't get that in any other industry, really.
No, you don't.
And you can direct them. You lead them down the path.
Right.
These days the fans are different. They want to lead themselves down the path, that they want to lead down. But you can't let them do that. It's our show. It's our, we control the content. We control the emotion, and that's very powerful. Very powerful, man. And it's a really cool thing to have a handle on. And to be able to have it again, I'll be forever indebted to the people that made it happen. So.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you said that you weren't having a good time on this run, but it sure looks like you are. But you'd been pretty vocal in the past, about your experiences on your first run. What's the difference this time than the previous?
I can sit down and I can have a conversation with Vince McMahon, and we can look each other in the eye and we can speak on different terms, I believe. It's a relationship that I wish I would have had the first time, and I don't know because we're both older. I don't know, man. I can just tell you that it's completely different, guys. Someone made a comment, well, why didn't he do promos like that before? Well, you guys never let me be me before. And so now that I can be me, it seems to be a little bit of a different, it's just a different tone, man. It's not that, there's a lot of respect given. It's just that it's just different. The air, I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. There's you guys know, it's still like it used to be in certain ways.
Still a pit of piranhas, yeah.
Yeah, it always will be. But, as long as you're not oblivious to it, but impervious to it, you go in, you do your job, and you take advantage of the opportunity. 13 years far removed, you look at the ability you had to take the bull by the horns back then and to be able to get that opportunity again. You look at it in a different light. And, it's been a wonderful time. And like I said, man, nobody get me wrong when I say I've been miserable throughout this, but I have. I'm miserable. I'm bloated 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. I'm stressed 24 hours a day. I don't sleep.
That's my favorite quote so far, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I know you'd appreciate that one. But it's all good. It's just my body, man, and I like training and whatever, man. It's all good. Like I said, when I get home and I can get in, one of my cars and go out and have a good time, and that's all the enjoyment that I need. And this is a competitive thing too that fills that void in my life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that was one of the things that, you go back to your relationship with Vince and how you have a better one now. Do you think part of that is because you're dad?
Oh, yeah, no question. Your priorities change.
Yeah, right?
I'm not number one anymore. It ain't about me. I'll do anything for my family.
Yeah. It really does change the dynamic of every relationship you have, I think, especially when you start sitting down and talking to a fellow father, because you're just coming at things from an entirely different place.
Oh, yeah.
Than people who don't have kids. And it's not a knock on people that don't have kids. It just shifts your mindset. It really does.
Okay, well let's get here's another dilemma. Okay? When I used to come to the arena, I'd go in my little hole and I'd concentrate and I'd go over all my stuff, and I'd slowly turn into Godzilla, right? Well, now I got my beautiful wife and my goofy 10-year-old son in the back with me, and so it's tough because I can't miss the opportunity to walk him around and introduce him to this guy and let him experience this, and it's just tough, man. It just makes it a lot tougher. But hell, I can do it. It's all good.
But yeah, because you touched on, you still have that competitive need. It's still in there. It still needs to get, stroked or let out or however you want to put it. If that's in you, it's always going to be in you. And whether, you're a creative person, a competitive person, whatever it is, there still needs to be that outlet. So, I mean, if it isn't wrestling, does the Muay Thai training fill that for you?
Absolutely, and it has throughout the years. And it's just a completely different deal. I mean, I love Muay Thai. It's a way of life. It's a thought process. It's cleansing for me. I really enjoy it. Now, it hurts like hell. I've never done anything that consistently hurt me as much as this did, except for play football. But there's a joy to some of that pain, and it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun to learn new tricks at 50 years old. It's fun to be able to go in there and spar with 18-year-old kids and see their eyes light up when you hit them with a hook or something, and they're like, man, this is kind of different. He might, I still respect that guy a little bit, but it's fun, man. I really enjoy it, and and it has filled that void over the past number of years, and it'll always be there. It's always part of my regimen.
So you said when you before back years ago when you show up at the arena, you just kind of go in your little hole or in your locker room and just kind of shut yourself off and get into the zone, so to speak. So nowadays when you come in, how the newer guys that might have grown up as fans, because that's where we're at now in our careers. Like guys would be like, oh man, I was a big fan of yours when I was growing up. So that's where we're all at now when we go backstage. But it's how would the reaction, how was the greeting from the newer generation of superstars there backstage?
I feel like dad.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm greatly appreciative of everybody with accepting me with open arms. At least it seems as if they are. Thanking me for being part of the show and saying that they've been fans of mine, and it's really cool. There's a good group of kids there, man. I mean, there really are. I mean, I'm only there sparingly, but it seems to be the nucleus is they're on top of it now. It's completely different nucleus of people than when we were there. It just seems to me that it's just different, man. You don't have the big, characters that you did back in the day. I mean, you do, but I don't know. It's hard to explain the landscape right now. It's just completely different than when we were there.
Yeah, the thing I've found, I think, is just I don't know. It feels like there might be handcuffs in terms of being able to just go out and feel it, and whether that's a promo or just going outside the box of the 1, 2, 3s ABCs of a match, for fear of I don't want to get in shit.
Yeah. I mean, let the guys do that on the circuit, and then perfect it and have the confidence from the upper echelon to be able to do it live. It's also having the talent to be able to do that, and having the trust in them. And maybe there aren't as many as there were back in the day. There aren't, that have the ability to go out there and wing it. And feel it. It seems as if it's a little bit more structured now. Well, I'm walking that fine line now.
But it is structured because it's it's a publicly traded company. It's all of those things. So I get the reasons for it being structured, but in it being structured, you do lose some of that spontaneity that you would get from a guy like Austin or something.
Yes, absolutely. You hit it right on the head. Or both of you guys.
Well, I mean, we were a different bag. At least when we were together.
You were great at what you did.
Actually, a funny story is
the ability to be very entertaining and be, and stay on point and not have to, go by a script all the time. I mean, that's a rare ability to be able to do that. Both you guys have that ability, and that's that's commendable for damn sure, because it's tough.
A funny story, actually. You and I were doing a promo going back to when I was kind of standing in for The Rock, and I remember it as clear as it was yesterday because it was in Boston, Massachusetts, and you were in the ring. I came out and interrupted you, started talking, and they kind of had given me some bullet points to talk about, and one of them was they wanted me to kind of talk about I was there to represent Rock and his people and the people's champion and all that sort of thing, and I didn't want to completely rip off his thing. So the whole day I'm kind of like, what can I use here that's kind of different? And then as I was out there and it was kind of coming off my tongue, I remembered that we had, me and some other guys had joked around calling people our peeps backstage and that sort of thing. So I kind of just threw that out during that promo, and it got a reaction. And I remember the next week people showed up with peeps signs, and I knew it was a thing, and it kind of has followed me around to this day, the peeps thing, which happened in the segment that we did, which is pretty funny when you're talking about off the cuff stuff. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Huh. Learn something new every day.
There you go. Yeah.
So WrestleMania's coming up. You feel good about it? You feel I don't want to say prepared, but do you feel and I know you briefly touched on it before, but I'll say it's a vindication. It is. It's man, after all this time and the run through WCW and coming back and then leaving and coming back, it's got to feel good. And maybe not physically, but
it does. But you say, and it is kind of a vindication. But again, think about it. It's a vindication where I have to perform at 50.
Yeah.
Nothing can change that, and it just makes it tougher. I'm like I say, I could not have ever passed up the opportunity, but it just makes it tougher, to accomplish with all things considered.
And you're in there with Brock, who is not a night off.
He's not a gentle person.
Hey man, he's the gnarliest dude in the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I surprised the hell out of him. The second time, the first time when I came back, and that I had to. He thought I was sitting on the couch eating bonbons for 13 years, but I wasn't. And now he knows that. And hey, man, he's work or no work. I mean, it's far from a night off.
Right.
I'm used to going in there, bouncing guys around and standing there strong. This is a guy who's he's 39. So, I mean, he's 11 years younger than I am, and he's in his prime. He's a monster. And, I used to be that monster, and I still am that monster. I'm just an older, kind of a silverback monster now. So you can't
and we'll say wiser.
Yeah, we'll just go with wiser.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can't take that away from me, but it just makes it a lot more difficult to perform that vindication coming back at WrestleMania after 13 years. The first WrestleMania match that we had wasn't well received. I know why, and then now everybody's like, okay, well, Goldberg can only go 2 moves. He can't go 13 seconds without sweating. How are they gonna put a show on at this one to be better or much better or great compared to what they did before? So I mean, no pressure on me, guys.
I think with the last match, I think it was pretty much common knowledge that both you guys were not going to be around after, and it's hard for fans to get invested into one guy either way if they realize that this is it. You know what I mean? And I think what's changed now is that they realize that you're both here. You're both going to be around, and the whole build up to it has been perfect, I think.
Well, I think more than anything is you don't have to be there. And everyone knows that. You came back for altruistic reasons. You came back so that your son could see you get in and do what you used to do. And nobody can sweat somebody on that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I appreciate that. I like to think so. But these fans, and I try to make everybody happy. And, they're paying their hard-earned money. And I want to perform for them. I'll go back to that cardio thing, man. So for me to be, let's look at this realistically. For me to be 237 and to have great cardio, and then get the phone call that 6 weeks later I got to do what I got to do. Do you think I can continue to do cardio every day?
I think you jumped off the treadmill and ate a steak.
Yeah, right. And then I'm just back to zero. See, that's the problem. And so I had to shut cardio completely down and just eat and lift and eat. And so it's a sacrifice. Do I give people the visuals, whatever, as close to as possible, of Goldberg, or do I give them a new version that's like I look like a cruiserweight? And it's just different, man. So all this heat that I'm taking about, sweating and all, man, people don't realize that I pour a full bottle of water on my head before I go out. That's not
to mention the fact it's hot under those lights. It's hot.
Well, yeah,
everybody's going to sweat.
It is hot, and
so
and I have a very high metabolism, and I got my core temperature's like 6,000 degrees anyway.
See, a guy like me, I usually wear 7 or 8 layers out there, so I look bigger. And I'm sweating underneath it, and you can't see it. So I had an advantage that way.
Why do you think I wore a coat every time first, when I got back, man? I still had to train, man. I was still training. So, hey, the thing with Brock, hey, man, I'm 2-0 against him. That's pretty damn good record. But if I think that he's not coming for my head on a platter at 33, then I'm crazy. I embarrassed this dude, and we may have been friends in the past, but he wants to eat me. And that's all fine and freaking dandy, man, because like I said, I ain't been sitting on the couch for 12 years eating bonbons. And the 2 moves or the 3 moves that you've seen already are just, here's the deal, okay? Here's the difference, and this really pisses me off sometimes too. Some people like to watch Evander Holyfield go 12 rounds to a decision. Some people like to watch Mike Tyson come out and throw one shot and lift the guy off his damn feet and put him on his back. I just so happen to be that guy who lifts people off their feet and put them on their back. Okay? So if somebody says, hey, man, would you like to go out and be Evander Holyfield and go 12 rounds and, go to a decision? My answer is going to be hell no. That's what most people do. Okay? And I was born into this position, and I'm going to do what I'm told to do, and I'm going to do, at the end of the day, what I think people want to see. Well, hopefully at 33, I'm able to bring out some stuff that I haven't shown, that I haven't been able to do because of constraints.
All right.
So this ain't going to be hey, he knows what's coming. I know what's coming. So I don't think we're going to catch each other by surprise. So I think this is going to be a bloodfest. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out war. And, if I get him in a tie plum, don't think I'm not going to drive one of my knees straight through his solar plexus. Okay? So I may have been away for a long time, and I may not have been practicing my wrestling moves throughout the years. But, going back to what's in you, I mean, I still got a lot of that stuff in me, and I still can do a lot of it. And I'm going to have to bring every single thing out at 33. And, I just got to learn to relax. I got to learn to have fun in there while I'm smashing him and regulate my air. But, I believe that it was much more important for me to be physically, aesthetically, what I was like in the past, as opposed to, a dude who could run around for 20 minutes. That ain't me.
It ain't you. People would be, people would be disappointed if that were the case. They do want to see that guy that they remember. So you gave them that. And I think, at WrestleMania 33, you got King Kong versus Godzilla. And I know I always loved watching those movies.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, too, with the first...
why not give people what they want to see?
Exactly. It's a spectacle. And that's what WrestleMania is.
And here's the thing, too. It's about garnering interest and getting people talking. And people have done nothing but talk about your and Brock's matches, no matter how fast they were. They're talking about them, and that's all that matters, and that means people want to see it.
It's back to that thing with like you said about boxing. It gets eyeballs on the product. So, I know as a talent, when people would come back, I always found it exciting because I knew, hey, Hogan's coming back. That means there's going to be some extra interest that wasn't maybe there a few months ago. That's time for me as a talent to turn up what I do so that when they are watching, those extra eyeballs are watching, they go, hey, but that kid Edge is pretty good. Cool.
But that kid Christian's
even better.
That's looked at it. That's smart. Some people don't look at it like that. And, I'm greatly appreciative of the ones that do, and it's good business.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you coming on the show while you're preparing and, on your massage tables and working out and cranking away there.
It had to be rough doing this interview, getting rubbed down.
See, but that's the thing, man. I'm in a massage chair that does a certain routine that really can't hurt me. But when I tell people I have a massage 3 days a week, they go, "Oh man, that must be really neat." But
it's not one of those good feeling things.
Oh no, the cameras were here last week when I was getting one, and there is not 1 second that this guy has ever laid his hands on me for one of these ART massages that I have not grimaced, screamed, or yelled. I mean, it's miserable. But
there's no good way to get an ART massage.
Right.
They're necessary evils.
Yeah, but the benefit is far outweighs the negative.
Yeah,
so it's worth it.
Well, don't want to keep any longer, Bill. Appreciate you doing it. We know you're busy. You probably got to fly out for Raw.
My boy just walked in the door, man. You kidding me? And now it's daddy time.
Well, that's the thing,
there we go.
On a personal level, too, I just want to say how much I appreciate the fact of how much it means to you and your family, and especially for your son to see you doing what you're doing. Edge and I both have young children, and unfortunately with our injuries, they'll never be able to see us perform live. So from a personal standpoint, I understand how much that means, and I can really appreciate it. So I'm really glad that happened for you and your family.
I love you guys, man. I really do. I appreciate it, business-wise and personally. You guys are awesome, man. And I really appreciate what you just said. And it truly is the coolest gift that I ever could have been given. And for any father, they would completely understand that. And
yep.
It's worth anything and everything, man. To me, it's just the coolest thing ever. So love you guys, man. Rock and roll. I gotta go eat some weight.
Go eat and hug the kiddo. Gain some weight, and we'll see you next week.
Be good, gentlemen.
All right, see you, buddy.
See you, Bill. Thanks.
Got it. Bye-bye.
Well, that was pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah. Great interview, great dude.
Good dude. Really good
always
dude.
Always had a really good relationship with him. Bill and I met a couple of times just in passing in airports, and then we had an appearance together, and we both love kids. So anytime kids came through, and you could see, like, he's just really good with kids and very good interaction with kids, and I try to do the same thing. So we always just, from that point kind of realized we're of the same mindset in that. So it was good to have him on. It was good to hear his his explanation, not that he needs an explanation, but just give the reason for why he's coming back, and to me, why it's good. It's good for WrestleMania. It's good for the newer guys on the show. To me,
it's good to hear him speaking with enthusiasm about what it is that he's doing. Because like we kind of touched on in the interview, he maybe seemingly had a bad taste in his mouth from his first experience in WWE. So it's cool to see that it's going so well for him, and kind of whenever it is time for him to close the book in that chapter, and there's it's good memories.
Yeah, it's a good last chapter, if it is indeed the last chapter.
Right. And there's a pretty funny story actually that I wish I had told when he was on, but it just kind of hit me now. And he had said to me backstage once he and I were going over a match, and he was kind of like, well, I don't know about that, and I don't know about this, and then so I just kind of said, hey, Bill, if this match doesn't go well, who do you think's going to get in trouble? You or me? And he just looked at me. I was like, it's going to be me. So trust me what I'm saying. He goes, I got you, man. And he and I always got along since that day. And so, yeah, he's just a cool dude, man. I've always liked him. And I've always liked his intensity. And just the way that he goes about life is pretty cool.
Yep. It's going to be a fun spectacle. It's going to be, it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 33, Orlando, April 2nd. And you get to see Goldberg, Brock Lesnar. You get to see The Undertaker against Roman Reigns. You get to see Shane McMahon, AJ Styles. Those are just the ones off the top of my head.
You know who you don't get to see?
There's Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. There's, man.
You know who you don't get to see?
Who?
Edge and Christian. Because we'll be eating those bonbons that he left.
Yeah, I'll be up in the family box, stuffing my face.
Yeah, shoving your pie hole full of food.
I don't need to worry about my cardio.
That's right.
I'm playing a damn Viking. Vikings don't have cardio.
They have a plethora of facial hair.
And I got that in abundance. So I'm good.
Yeah. I had a quick question for you.
Yeah.
So now that we're kind of winding down here, the first episode of E&C's Pod of Awesomeness.
Is that what we're doing?
I mean, we should probably get to it pretty soon here, I would think.
Okay.
How long, if they haven't already, do you think it's going to be till the listeners realize we have no fucking clue what we're doing?
That was probably pretty evident in the first 2-3 minutes.
Probably so. But hey, if you want to continue on this path with us on this this train wreck, this car crash, this shipwreck, whatever it is you want to call it, if you want to voice your opinions on it like we talked about earlier, give us a call on our voicemail, 926-367-8204. We've opened the floodgates for you. Say whatever you want. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. And follow us on Twitter at E&C Pod, and you can also email us at ecpodofawesomeness@gmail.com.
They can also follow you at Christian4Peeps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me at EdgeRatedR. And that's it. That's all of our information. We just threw it up in you. We just laid it down in your lap. So
Spit
get a
it all
hold
over
of
your
us.
face.
And tell us what you want to hear on this show. Become involved in the show. And, man, hopefully this is going to be fun. Thanks for listening to E&C's Pod of Awesomeness. Remember to listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. That's iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play. We're on all of them. Did you know that?
I do now.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
Nice.
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.
See you.
Or you'll hear us next week. You can't actually see us. It's Theater of the Mind.